Swine Showmanship show. There are bright neon green flyers in the bins around the ring. We're not starting right this moment, so do not worry about rushing to get up here yet. Calm down, it's gonna be hot. Please take a look at your program and make sure you are in the correct class. We will start with the 18-year-olds, the oldest 4-Hers, and then truck on through seniors, intermediates, followed by juniors. I will give you a heads up when you need to make your way to the show ring.
I'll do it. Want me to do it? I was just told that they cannot hear all the way in the back. They were walking away. I said, "You mean all the way in the back?" And she said, "From the back." I think that's
Just quiet. No, it's been a lot of having it here all week. Well, if anybody knows how to get a hold of that guy.
Do you have anything I could write my bio on? That work? I'm going to write it in the general tense that you'd be reading it so that you don't have to try to
Hey, yesterday I was really good at
ad-libbing. Yeah.
Oh, he's a lefty too.
Lefties do it right.
Guess what? We're all right.
Yes.
Good morning. All right, my friends, I think we are ready to rock and roll. Yes, no. 5 minutes. Mr. Hartner says 5 minutos. So in 5 minutes, we will be ready to roll. So I guess class 1 are 18-year-olds. If you would like to make your way to the show ring, we'll get you checked in and get started. Hello. Mr. Bill, Frankie, we ready? Yes, no, maybe? No. No. Yes. I mean, we got a judge, we got pigs, we got kids, we got me. I'm ready. All you need is me, guys. All right, well, we think we're ready, us girls, right? Yes. All right, let's get going with our 4-H Swine Showmanship show. Class number 1, 18-year-olds may head on into the ring. Give them a minute to get in here, and then class 2, 17-year-olds may come to ringside.
Well, good morning, everyone. Can you guys hear me all right? All right, good. Well, pleasure to be here this morning, and I appreciate the opportunity to come and evaluate the Howard County Fair. This is an area that I know some people from, and it's nice to see where some of my good friends are from, where I grew up and went to livestock judging out in Kansas with some of them, and it's good to be here. So I appreciate the opportunity, and looking forward to evaluating the hog show throughout the day. The showmanship division, to me, is the most important show of the day. So we're going to take our time and do it right, but also make sure that we realize that the temperatures are going to get a little hot today, so we'll try not to work these hogs too long. But there's a certain component of this that also starts at home with practice and stamina, and I think it really shows here in the ring. We've got two young ladies here in this 18-year-old division that I think have done the most consistent job here to start off the day, and I really like starting with the 18-year-olds because it allows the younger kids to see what they need to be doing as they come out here and make sure they kind of learn from their elders. These two young ladies are both doing a great job keeping their distance from me so I can see their pig, keeping the pig between me and them, making sure that they're respectful to the others in the ring. I think they've done a really good job from top to bottom, and that's why they're still out here as the top 1 and 2. As I get to splitting hairs between these, because we're going to pick a class winner that we get to bring back for all of the senior champion in the showmanship division, I think there's one that's just done a little bit more consistent job keeping that pig moving at a good pace, showing me some different looks and angles in terms of side view, chest view, rear view. And I think that individual probably managed their distance just a little bit better rather than coming up close on me. And that's going to go to the young lady with the belted barrow. She's going to be your class winner here in the 18-year-old division. Let's give her a big round of applause. The young lady with the white hog is going to be second. Certainly don't want to take anything away from her. I think an excellent representative of your county, doing a really good job. One thing that I tell you though too, keep that pig moving as much as you can. Pigs look their best when they're moving, and that one kind of fights you a little bit. But another thing that I also believe is we've got these utensils, but we have a tendency in today's day and age to overuse them a little bit. I think using your whip or whatever you're using to drive the pig strategically is important. We want to keep that pig moving, but we don't necessarily need to overhit them either. And so there's a balance to that. I think both of those two young ladies do a really good job. We'll start letting the others out. They're going to go back to their pens. This young lady with the tricolored hog, I think she did an outstanding job out the gate. She clearly knows what she's doing. She came in here and really showed off good. I like how you came in the ring and you didn't block the other kids from getting the first look. She got behind them. I hope the others can follow suit. Her problem is her barra kind of gave up on her pretty fast. He doesn't have quite the stamina of the two that were in first and second. So this is a partnership between the pig and the person, and that one's just not cooperating quite as well. And fourth, the young lady with the white hog, he's probably got a little water in his ear. She did a good job with him, but I think she maybe didn't stay at the right distance from me quite as well. I also encouraged her when her pig goes to the bathroom, make sure you brush off what's left over afterwards. That's part of the reason you carry that brush around. Let's make sure we use it when we need to. As we keep on working down the line, the young lady with the Duroc hog also doing a good job. That hog just not moving quite as good for her. Wanted to stop and start, and I like to see those pigs moving at all times so I can really get a good evaluation of them. As we keep on moving down the line, the Berkshire hog that comes out next, kind of the opposite of the Duroc hog. This one probably moved a little too much and a little too fast. She wasn't able to control this guy quite as well as some of the individuals above her. And the young man that rounds out the class also doing a good job. Just had a pig that wasn't cooperating quite as well. Didn't respect where he needed to be in the ring. So a good lesson there for those of you that are coming up later in the classes of some things that I'll be looking for. But I think a great set of 18-year-olds to start off the day. Appreciate the ringside support. Let's put our hands together for all these individuals.
Now entering the ring is Class 2, 17-year-old seniors. Results for Class 1, 18-year-olds. The award for this class is sponsored by Cheryl Bennett and Kendall and Parker Dowdy. First place, Raven Heron. Second place, Madison Miller. Third place, Samantha Dixon. Fourth place, Sarah Whitehead. Fifth place, Grace Gunther. Sixth place, Kelly Chismadia. Seventh place, David Brown. In your program, 6, 3, 5, 1, 2, 4, 7. Now in the ring is Class 2, 17-year-olds, Class 3, 16-year-olds to ringside.
here in our 17-year-old division, I think we definitely got some quality from top to bottom. But I think that there's a lot to be said about the young lady driving right in front of me. She's going to be your class winner out here today with the wide belted gilt. Hopefully those of you ringside have kind of seen her just find ways to separate herself from the rest, and she really demonstrates control, I think, of her animal extremely well from top to bottom. Clearly she's worked with that pig a lot at home because it's patient. It's one that hasn't gotten tired out here in the ring, and that's something that's hurt a couple further down the list. So I think a really standout individual there in your 17-year-old class. The young lady with the black hog closest to me is going to be second. There she is. You're welcome. She was a little bit slower to catch my eye, but I think the more I studied her, she really was doing a good job from top to bottom at the fundamentals. She kept her positioning right. She got that pig looking at me at the right angles and moving in the right direction. That pig probably wanted to stop and start on her a little bit more than the young ladies that wins the class. That's part of the equation for me, is that pig probably just wasn't cooperating with her quite as well, but I think still one that had a little more stamina, a little more patience than the young ladies in third. The young lady in third is the one in the corner, and she came in last, and I told her she did a good job of trying to get what she could out of that barrow, because he clearly wasn't cooperating with her as well as she'd like. I think this young lady in third knows what she needs to be doing and did a good job once she had a good look, but he just kind of gave up on her a little bit too much, and ultimately, again, it's a partnership between the two, and that's what slides her down into third. The young man that comes in fourth, I think, did a little bit better job in terms of getting the most out of this pig, one that was a little more patient, and that barrow was a little more comfortable here in the ring than the young lady in third. He got crisscrossed with me once when he got in the wrong position and blocked my view of the pig. That's kind of a no-no here in showmanship. We want to make sure that you keep the pig between the judge and yourself, and that's something that I told him he could continue to work on. As we keep on working down the line, next man up did a good job kind of coming back from his entry. That barrow kind of came in and got a little fast, or Gilt did. But just needed to demonstrate to me a little more control relative to some of the young people ahead of him. I told him to watch where he's positioning himself to keep that pig moving. As we work on down into 6th and 7th, kind of the same rings true, just demonstrating we've got control over those animals. At this age group, we ought to be having the stamina at home and having the ability to work these hogs for a while to get the most out of them. I told this young man, being as tall as he is, I'd recommend something longer than the short whip he has, because that sure makes it hard to really drive that smaller gilt and get the most out of her. And the Duroc barrow that rounds out the class, he's just one that wasn't cooperating with that young lady quite as much as we'd like. So let's put our hands together for our 17-year-olds. Look forward to sorting through our next class.
Results for Class 2, 17-year-olds. This class's award is sponsored by Jeff and Mary Alexander. First place, Peyton Harris. Second place, Riley Trotman. Third place, Blair Heath. Fourth place, fourth place, George Roche. Fifth place, Ryan Peak. Sixth place, Anthony Poston. Seventh place, Brittany Morris. In your program, 3, 1, 7, 5, 6, 4, 2. Now entering the ring is Class 3, 16-year-old seniors. Class 4, hold off. Don't come up quite yet. I will call you shortly.
here in our 16-year-old heat, another really good group and some definite differences in showmanship style out here. I've got the top 3 remaining out here, but the class winner today is going to be the young man with the Duroc barrow in the middle of the ring. Maybe not the most aggressive showman out here, but I think one that's just been really consistent from the time he entered the gate. He's been in the middle of the ring at an appropriate distance from me, giving me some good looks, trying not to cross over between him and the pig, and keeping that pig moving at all times. I just like that calm demeanor that he has, and that consistency really is what drives him up to the top. The young lady with the thin belted gilt's going to be second. I think she's got a little different style. I like the extra aggressiveness that you had. You were on top of it and really showing me you know where you needed to be. As a consequence, though, I think your gilt got a little more worn out because you were driving her harder. So you got to feel that pig and adjust a little bit. If you know you're going to be in here for a little while and she has a tendency to get tired, you got to be willing to crank it back. When you first came in the ring, keep your pig over here till everybody else. There, I got my mic back, I think. The young man that's out here in third, I told him he did a good job giving me some really good looks, but there were also some bad looks he gave me too, and that's what kind of slid him down into the third slot, but a good showman that knows where he needs to be. As we keep on working down the line, I think we got some pretty good showmen here in slots 4 and 5. Just had a tendency to get a little distant from me, didn't show me that control quite as well as a couple of young people above me. The young lady with the white barrow that comes out in 6, I think she did a good job getting the most she could out of him. He had a tendency to want to stay along the fence line and go a little fast, and she did her best, but Barrow's got to cooperate with her a little bit better. The next young man in 7, I told him that pig wants to stop and start too much. Trying to keep that pig moving and give me some good looks is a...
All right, now entering the ring is Class 4, 15-year-old seniors. Results for Class 3, 16-year-olds. This award is also sponsored by Jeff and Mary Alexander. First place, Will Meyer. Second place, Kylie Bingham. Third place, Cody Trotman. Fourth place, Walker Whitehead. Fifth place, Mason Hill. Sixth place, Samantha Skelly. Seventh place, Eric Roth. Eighth place, Amelia Brogan. Ninth place, Wyatt Holmes. In your program, 2, 8, 5, 9, 1, 7, 6, 3, 4. Now in the ring is Class 4, 15-year-old seniors. Now in the ring is Class 4, 15-year-old seniors. Class 5, 14-year-olds to ringside for check-in.
Here in our 15-year-old age division, hopefully my mic stays working the whole time this go around. I think we've got a standout that kind of leads this class pretty easily. That's going to be the young lady with the black and white spotted hog. She does a good job from top to bottom, leading this division. I think very consistent job staying out in the middle of the ring, giving me some good looks and keeping that consistency from top to bottom. The young lady that's going to be second, I think probably the most fault-free individual after our class winner. Just one that maybe used her hands and her knees a little more than I would have liked. Try to stay off of that and use your utensil. But I like the fact that she was able to keep her pig in the middle of the ring and keep it moving fairly consistently and positioning herself well. The barrow that comes out in third, young lady did a good job keeping this guy moving. I think he was looking for a fight the whole time as he got out here. Just showing me that you can control him a little bit more would have been the things that you could do to get improvement a little bit. As you come out in fourth, this young lady did a good job being patient. Probably let her pig get on the fence line just a little more than I'd like. Trying to show me she can keep that pig in the middle of the ring and moving is where she could improve. The young man with the little belted hog that comes out next in fifth, I thought he did a good job. I told him, though, try not to use your hands so much. That's what you've got your utensil and your brush for. Try not to be getting down there and putting your hands on your pig. That's a kind of a no-no for me. As we keep on moving, a couple more young people that just got themselves out of position a little too often. Maybe pigs were stopping too much. Keep those pigs moving. Keep them 10 to 15 feet away from me. Give me some different looks and angles. I just want to see control, and I think that people up at the top end of the class did a little more consistent job of that. Let's put our hands together for these exhibitors out of our 15-year-old division. I look forward to sorting through the 14-year-olds next.
Now entering the ring is Class 5, 14-year-olds. Results for Class 4, 15-year-old seniors. This award is sponsored by the Figge family. First place, Mary Boswell. Second place, Charlotte Harrington. Third place, Allison Wheeler. Fourth place, Chelsea Riley. Fifth place, Austin Glover. Sixth place, Meredith Miller. Seventh place, Caitlin Spicer. Eighth place, Michael Patrick. In your program, 1, 5, 2, 6, 8, 4, 7, 3. Now in the ring is Class 5, 14-year-old seniors. This is last call if there's any entries for Class 6, first-year seniors. Please let us know.
showing 2 of them enough for 9?
What?
Showing 2 of them? 3, 4, 9. Might should get a first place out of 4 of them. Should get a grand champ out of 4. Might have to get your autograph later. MVP of the fair, you might
Two.
Here in our last heat, a senior showman, I think we got a really standout individual in the driving the Duroc Guild out directly in front of me. He's going to be your class winner here in our 14-year-old division. I think those of you ringside have seen how he's just done a good job kind of commanding the ring and definitely demonstrates the control of that pig and body positioning of where he wants to be and where he needs to be in the ring. It gets a little harder after that, but I think the young man with the thin belted hog does the most consistent job next. He'll be second. I think did a good job keeping that pig moving at a slow, steady pace in the middle of the ring. Maybe he could be just a little more aggressive, just a little more assertive like the young man that wins the class, but I think a good, consistent job from top to bottom there in second. The young lady that ends up in third, I think she had a great job in terms of ring awareness. I think that pig did a good job early on. He's kind of wearing out on her and not cooperating quite as much as the drive wears on. Wants to kind of get on the fence line and in the corner. That maybe dinged her just a little bit relative to our first and second. The young man with the kind of spotted up hog that comes out in fourth did a good job keeping that pig moving and out off the fence line pretty well. Maybe could have just demonstrated a little more control. I think that pig was maybe driving you a little more than the other way around. The young lady with the blue butt hog that comes out next, I don't know that he can see all that well. He wasn't necessarily cooperating with her all that well. She knew where she needed to be. That barrel wants to stop and start quite a bit for her. She just needs to keep him moving and giving me some different looks because that pig just probably wasn't really cooperating from the get-go. Young man that comes out next, love his smile, love the way he keeps that pig moving at all times. Just needs to work on maybe showing me that he can control that pig a little bit better where he wants it to go. But I love the attitude out here in the show ring. And coming out to round out the class, just a pig that wasn't really cooperating with the young lady. We got to get him off the fence line. Show me you're in control of your pig. Here in this senior division, I think that's really important. Once again, a nice group of 14-year-olds. Let's give all of them a big round of applause as we get ready to select our champion and reserve champion senior showman.
As far as I know, there are no first-year senior entries. So we will get started with our senior champions. We need all of our first place senior champion showmen to the show ring for the selection of our senior champion. And we need our second place class winners on standby so that they can come in for the selection of reserve senior champion.
Here in our senior championship heat, we've got 5 individual class winners that I think really come out and represent their classes extremely well. Those are 5 competitive young people that have hogs that they've spent a lot of time with at home, and clearly it shows as they get here in the ring. They know what they need to be doing, and it comes down to some slight differences between them as what falls on my shoulders to pick your champion reserve. Before I do so, let's put our hands together for these class winners. I think getting to this point's an impressive feat on its own. That being said, I think even among 5 really good ones, I think there's 2 that really kind of separate themselves from the crowd, I think, relatively easily. And they both stood out in their individual heats as well. But I think command and control of their animal and where they want to be in the ring is maybe the differentiator for them as they sort up to the top. The 2 that to me are really the contenders are the young lady with the wide belted gilt over there and the young man with the Duroc gilt directly in front of me. I think those 2 really just demonstrate a lot of control and ring awareness, knowing where they need to be and how to position that pig, give me the best looks of their animal. I did notice that both of them had a tendency to maybe cross in front of me at a few different times. I think they could each work on that a little bit, but I think they both maybe did that similarly. So between the 2, I think it comes down to splitting hairs just a little bit more. And one thing that I learned as you got more and more advanced in showmanship, one thing that's challenging when you're out here in a group of pigs that are moving around you, you need to find a way to be in the right position, but go in the opposite direction of the stream. A lot of times the pigs that are all going one way, you want to be the one going the other way to help stand out and separate yourself from the crowd while still being in a good position for the judge to see you. I think that maybe separates these 2 top individuals. I think one of them did just a little bit better job of that, of being stand out and separated from the group. That's going to go to the young man out of your 14-year-old age division. He's going to be your champion. Let's give him a big round of applause. The young lady with the wide belted gilt's going to be reserved. Being hard on you, but you did a great job as well. Really good job there in your senior showmanship division. Appreciate you guys putting your hands together for a good group of showmen.
Our senior champion showman is Mr. Liam Hartner, and our reserve senior champion showman is Miss Peyton Harris. Congratulations to our senior champions. We will now start our intermediate division with Class 8 13-year-olds may come on into the ring. Class 8 13-year-old intermediates into the show ring.
Good job,
Now in the show ring is Class 8 13-year-olds. If Class 9 12-year-old intermediates could come to ringside. Class 9 12-year-olds to ringside for check-in.
Here in the 13-year-old division, we're seeing the pigs get a little tired and figuring out where the entry and exit gate is a little faster than we'd like. But I think the two young people that are still out here driving are the ones that were able to manage through that the most effectively. The young lady with the tricolored barrel is going to be your class winner. I think she did the best job of being patient. Maybe use your hands a little less on both of you's parts. We have a whip, we don't need to use our hands, okay? But I think she did a good job keeping her pig in the middle of the ring, keeping that pig moving relatively consistently, keeping it away from the others. The young man in second, I like the extra aggressiveness he's got. He's certainly trying hard, maybe gets his pig a little more worn out in the process, and like I said about the young lady, we probably need to use our hands a little less and just work with our utensil. But I think they did the best job of keeping their pig out off the fence line, keeping it moving relatively consistently, and knowing where I'm at in the ring. The young lady with the black hog that comes next, I think, followed suit relatively well. She was just a little less consistent than the two that ended up winning the class. Just one that I'd like to see out here off the fence line a little more often, but she did give me some good looks, and I could tell she knew where she needed to be, just needed the pig to cooperate with her a little bit better. As we keep on working down the line, I think I'm going to say a lot of the same story. This young man with the belted barrel, I could tell he knew where he wanted to be. He was getting a little frustrated with that barrel that wasn't wanting to cooperate with him consistently enough. Try to be patient, try to get that pig way off the corner so you got time to work your way back. Just try to adjust to your surroundings a little bit better. The young man with the Duroc barrel, first one out, did a good job keeping that pig moving. I just wanted to see more control. He wanted to get in the corner and get back in front of me when I was looking for other people's first look. Need to see more consistency there. As we keep on working down the lineup, I think we just had some pigs that were less cooperative and some young people that needed to get them out of the corner a little bit faster and better. But let's put our hands together for all those 13-year-olds doing a good job here.
Now entering the ring is Class 9 12-year-old intermediates. Results for Class 8 13-year-olds. This award was sponsored by Unhairy Larry Bresnock and his beautiful daughter, Lauren. Thanks, Lauren. First place goes to Samantha Boswell. Second place, Wyatt Ridgely. Third place, Jalen Belisek. Fourth place, Jake Harris. Fifth place, Hayden Brendel. Sixth place, Austin Bagwell. Seventh place, Hayden Harrison. In your program, 6, 1, 5, 7, 4, 2, 8, 3. Now in the ring is Class 9 12-year-old intermediates.
34. Here in our 12-year-old heat, we've got a little bit smaller class, but I think the two young ladies driving out here in the ring done a really nice job from top to bottom. Both pretty patient showmen that are working with their pigs, even though their pigs might just be a little slower moving than we'd like to see. I think one of them did just a better job keeping that pig in motion and giving me some good looks and good passes from different angles. The young lady with the black gilt's going to be your class winner today. Let's give her a big round of applause. I certainly want to give the young lady in second her due. She's probably a little more aware of where she needs to be in the ring, and I appreciate that. Just need to get that guy moving and driving a little faster. He wants to kind of stop and start, and if you get up on his shoulder too much, that kind of makes that worse. So stay back on the hip. If I'm walking up behind you, tap him on the top and get him moving. Give me a good look. He wanted to stop and start just a little too much for me, okay? Coming out in third is a young lady that did a good job keeping her pig moving. She probably just needs to work on the awareness of the right distance to be. You got a little too close to me at times. I like the fact that you were able to get him up to me. I appreciate that, but I can't see him very well when you're right up here on my feet. Stay about 10, 15 feet away, ideally. That's going to be the best thing. The young lady that rounds out the class, kind of the opposite is true. Got to be able to get him off the fence line so that the judge can see him. Let's put our hands together for those 12-year-old young ladies doing a good job here in the ring.
Now entering the ring is Class 10, 11-year-old intermediates. Results for Class 9, 12-year-olds. The award for this class is sponsored by my fabulous mom and dad, John and Darlene Boma. Hi, Mom and Dad. First place, Jaden Mantua. Second place, Addison Ridgely. Third place, Ella Campanari. And fourth place, Savannah Glover. In your program, 3, 4, 1, 2. Now entering the ring is Class 10, 11-year-old intermediates. Following this, if there are no first-year intermediates, so if you're a first-year intermediate, last call to let us know, please. We will have all of our first-place intermediate class winners for the selection of our intermediate champion and reserve champion showmen. Now in the ring is Class 10, 11-year-old intermediates. Following this will be the selection of our intermediate champions. So we need all of our first place intermediate champion showmen to ringside for check-in. All first place intermediate showmen to ringside for check-in.
Here in our 11-year-old age division, we got a big class and definitely put our ring help to work there this morning on this group. I think these two young men did a good job of kind of rising above the challenge. As we get that many in these younger age groups, it kind of really separates those to the top that can kind of get above the cluster and keep them out of the corner. I think these two young people did the best job. There's a couple others that are a little further down that did a really good job early on, but maybe weren't able to maintain throughout the entire heat. I think these two young people did a good job of staying calm and getting their pig out in the middle, giving me some good looks. The one that was probably the most consistent at doing so is the young man with the black barrow driving directly in front of me. He's going to have your class winner here in this 11-year-old age division. Let's give him a big round of applause. I told him to make sure he's not crossing in front of me. Keep that pig between the judge and yourself. But the young man with the boot is doing a good job working through his injury and doing a really good job keeping that pig moving. Just had a barrow that wants to get on the fence line a little too much as the drive wears on, and I think that hurts him a little bit relative to the one that wins the class. As we keep on working down the line, the young man that comes out in third next, I told him he's doing a really good job, but I told him just settle down a little bit. He's probably a little overexcited, a little too much aggressiveness there. I told him just to relax and let that pig work a little bit more, and that might separate him up to the top a little bit more, just to be a bit more patient with his pig. The young lady in fourth, I told her she kind of drew a hard straw there, that she showed me some really good looks early on, and I was like, all right, she's going to win this class. And then her pig decided to kind of quit on her. He found that gate, found the corner, and really just wasn't cooperating with her late in the heat. So that's what slides her down a little bit, because again, it's a partnership between the pig and the individual. This young man in fifth, another one kind of the same rings true, had a barrow that really kind of quit on him a little bit too, but he did a good job keeping that pig moving, and early on gave me some really nice looks. As we keep on working down in slots 6 through 11, we've got several really good showmen that just had pigs that maybe weren't cooperating quite as much. Some of them I wish they could be a little more aggressive, a little more getting those pigs off the fence line. First and foremost, you got to show me your control of your pig. At this age, these younger kids, that's really the thing that differentiates the top end from the bottom, is the ones that are really showing me that they've got the steering wheel with their utensil and can get that pig off the fence line, because those pigs gravitate going towards the exit gate. Please put your hands together for that big class of 11-year-olds here. Looking forward to sorting through your 10-year-olds next.
Now in the ring, we need all of our first place intermediate class winners for the selection of our intermediate champion showman. Results for Class 10, 11-year-old intermediates. The award for this class is sponsored by Pars Ridge Farm. First place, Quinn Hartner. Second place, Charlie Brendel. Third place, Grant Anthony. Fourth place, Anna Campanari. Third place, Grant Anthony. Oh, I said the wrong one. Fifth place, Gabriel Gustin. Sixth place, Abigail Nelson. Seventh place, James Boswell. Eighth place, Ansley Hartner. Ninth place, John Bell. 10th place, Rebecca Roche. 11th place, Elijah Hunkovsky. Now in the ring are all of our first place intermediate class winners for the selection of our intermediate champions. Following the selection of our champions, we will start our junior division. If we could have our second place intermediate class winners on standby, we will let you know if we need you in the ring.
We got three really good class winners here in our intermediate division. I'm going to go ahead and select our champion, and we'll bring in the second from that class to evaluate for reserve. But I think three nice class winners in a little bit smaller division here. But I think asking them to switch pigs showed me something. I think we got some pigs in this class that are a little tougher to drive, and especially for younger individuals. Sometimes that's why I'm not always a fan of only using a whip, because I think sometimes these big hogs don't listen to the younger kids quite as much. And so as you get challenged by having to drive another pig, it's important to see how you can adapt to that challenge, because it's not just about how your partnership with your pig, but your ability to be aware in the ring of how that pig needs to be handled. And some pigs require a little heavier hand, some require a little more gentleness, And I think there's one individual out here that just handled that challenge the most effectively and kept that pig that wasn't theirs in front of me and moving at a good pace, not having to use their hand too much. That's the young lady over here with the black gilt. She's going to be your champion here in the intermediate division. Let's give her a big round of applause.
If we could have Addison Ridgely come on in with your piggy. Thank you, Tanner. It's all good. Real feel 106, coming in hot, it's fine. Slow and steady wins the race. Congratulations to Jaden Mantua, our intermediate champion show lady.
As we bring our second place in out of our 11-year-old division, I remember her from class. I think her and the girl that won the junior showmanship, or intermediate showmanship, really kind of went toe-to-toe in that class. I think she does a really good job out here. That bear is a little slower moving, and that's kind of tough for her. I think she does a decent job adapting to that challenge. But nonetheless, he's one that I just like to see pick up his pace a little bit more, having a tendency to stop and start. I think the young man out of the youngest class does a good job keeping his barrow moving and staying nice and assertive and in the middle of the ring. He maybe struggled a little bit more when we challenged him to switch pigs, but I think with his own barrow, he does a really consistent job of knowing where he needs to be and getting the most out of his hog. I think they really rise to the top for your reserve champion selection. I'm going to go ahead and use the young man out of the youngest class. He'll be your reserve champion. 3 really good showmen out here. Once again, let's give them all a big round of applause.
Congratulations to Quinn Hartner, Reserve Intermediate Champion Showman. We will now start our junior division with Class 13, 10-year-old juniors may come on into the ring. Class 13, 10-year-old juniors into the ring.
definitely put our ring help to work a little more on these younger age divisions. Bill, that one. We got a little more challenges here when we've got young people. Technical difficulties here. Okay. Let's just put him in a pen and then we'll bring him out with that. Hey, buddy, go ahead in that pen, all right? You came a little early. At least you were up at the top end. That's a good sign, right? All right. Well, Mr. Durock, you just caught your lucky break. You're the class winner now, all right? So here in our 10-year-old age division, we've clearly got some pigs with some minds of their own. And I think especially in these younger age groups, it really, at the end of the day, it boils down to control. And I always like to use the analogy that these pigs are the car or the truck, and your whip or your pipe or whatever, your golf club, whatever you're using to drive the pigs is your steering wheel. And these pigs have a tendency to go into self-driving mode. And so I want to see the kids that can show me that when they're really holding the steering wheel that they can get those pigs where they need to go. And I think the young man with the Duroc Bear is probably one that did as good a job of that as any. This guy likes to get on the fence line a little bit, but you can tell that he's worked with this pig at home a lot. He knows how to get that pig positioned well and keep that pig moving. He does a good job in terms of his own body positioning. If we could change him, I'd like to get him off the fence line a little bit more. And I think the young man that comes out in second, let's go ahead and let him out, Bill. The young man that comes out in second did a better job of staying in the middle of the ring. That was my challenge to these guys, is they were all piling up down in the corner. The 3 or 4 young people who were able to get them off the corner are the ones that sorted up for me, because that showed me that when the rubber meets the road, they can really kind of keep their pig from going into the ditch. I think this young man did a good job keeping his pig moving, keeping him off the fence line. Probably one that just got a little bit lackadaisical from time to time, though, and I'd like to see just a little more control in terms of body positioning and not use your knees to show me that you can control with that utensil. This young man gave me a good look early on with his little black gilt. I think that gilt was probably one that was a little better to control. If I was him, I'd get a little more aggressive. One of the things that's always so hard with these younger kids is everybody feels obligated to use whips. And I think a lot of times it's hard for these young kids to have enough command over their pig with just a flimsy whip. And so one thing that I encourage them to do is, if you got a pig that's not listening, turn your whip around and use the heavy end of your whip. But it's also one reason why I think for younger kids it's sometimes better to use something with a little more oomph to it, like a tube or a pipe. This young lady does a good job with the Tamworth pig, keeping it moving. But as we keep on working down the lineup, I'm just going to let the rest of the young people out. You guys got to be able to show me you can keep your pig off the fence line, okay? Got to be able to get that pig out of the corner and show me you're controlling the pig and not the other way around. That really sorted the top end from you guys that didn't make it up to the top. We just got to be more consistent, demonstrating we're in control of our animals. Let's put our hands together for all these 10-year-olds. Look forward to sorting through our 9-year-old age division next.
Now entering the ring will be Class 14, 9-year-old juniors. Results for Class 13, 10-year-olds. First place, Troy Heath. Second place, Georgie Church. Third place, Noah Homkonsky. Fourth place, Ava Smarden. Fifth place, Brody Harrison. Sixth place, Violet Bell. Seventh place, Kennedy Nelson. Eighth place, Mason Brogan. Ninth place, Jake Martin. In your program, 6, 8, scratch, 2, 5, 1, 3, 9, 7, 4. Now entering the ring is Class 14, 9-year-old juniors.
here in our 9-year-old age division. Definitely got some good kids up at the top end and a few differences here, and certainly can listen to some different strategies from a judging standpoint. For me, it was who was doing the most consistent job throughout the heat, showing me that they were in control, showing me that they could keep their pig moving, knowing where they needed to be, giving me the right kind of eye contact. I think this young lady with the solid black pig, or the black white-footed pig, did the most consistent job throughout the class. That pig was a little tough to drive at times, and I think you did a good job of managing that and staying patient, but I think you did a really good job throughout the day of showing me that you knew where it needed to be and keeping that pig in front of me and most of the time. The young lady that's going to end up in second, she's one that I think got better as the heat wore on. I didn't see you very much early on. You kind of got lost in the crowd. I think as your pig settled down, maybe as you settled down, you did a better job of just showing me that you were in control and getting that pig in the middle of the ring. She kept that pig moving at a good pace. Just want to maybe see her a little earlier, maybe show me a little more of that ring awareness and eye contact that the young lady that wins the class does. But two nice, really good showmen there in first and second hole. The young man that ends up in third, he kind of got a little bit of a raw deal because he had to show twice. He was out there in the 10-year-old heat, I think doing a really good job. He would have been in the top 2 in our 10-year-old heat. I think that barrel probably got a little worn out after having to go through the ring twice. But the young man did a good job keeping that pig moving. I think did a good job keeping that pig in the middle of the ring. Just had a barrel that wanted to kind of get a little tired and worn out on here in his second go-around. And I think these two young ladies had ones that just responded a little bit better to the challenge. So make sure we give him a big round of applause as well. Another good showman there in third. As we keep working down the line, I think that's where we see a little bit more of a disconnect between the showman and the pig and their ability to get their pig in the right place at the right time and know where they need to be. This young lady in fourth did a good job getting in the middle of the ring. Maybe got a little close to me at times or didn't give me the eye contact that some of the top 3 did. But I think she did a better job staying off the fence line. The young people in the last 3 slots, that was something that they just didn't demonstrate quite as much control. This young man with the belted barrel gave me a few really nice looks. He kept that pig moving at all times, but that pig got pretty distant on me. He wants to kind of cross in front of me a little bit more often than I'd like. Another good group of young people here in our 9-year-old division. Let's put our hands together for them one more time as they exit the ring.
Now entering the ring is Class 15, 8-year-old juniors. Results for Class 14, 9-year-olds. This award is sponsored by the Howard County 4-H Beef Club. First place, Ava Brendel. Second place, Cora Brendel. Third place, Grayson Velasek. Fourth place, Michaela Willie. Fifth place, Logan Cady. Sixth place, Katarina Augustin. Seventh place, Ruby Church. In your program, 6, 1, 2, 5, 7, scratch, 3, 4. Now in the ring is Class 15, 8-year-old juniors.
our youngest age division. Good group of young people, and definitely kind of the same rings true here in these youngest age groups. I just want to see the ones that can show me they're in control of their pig, keeping their pig out in the middle of the ring and not on the fence line, not piled up with all the other pigs. I think there's one young person that did a consistent job of that throughout the day. Maybe that pig didn't move perfectly throughout, but I think just showing me control and awareness and a little bit of camaraderie with the pig is the young lady in the class. She's going to be your class winner. Doing a really good job. Now I'd like to see him move a little bit more and give me some good looks and passes. I think the young man that ends up second did a little bit better job of keeping that pig moving at all times. I think your bear kind of wore you out too, though, because he likes to go, and you were having to work him pretty hard. Yep. So try to find a way to ease back a little bit. You did a good job kind of rising above the challenge because he wanted to maybe go some places he shouldn't, and you did a good job of trying to keep him in the middle of the ring. I think these two young people did a good job kind of rising above the challenge. Coming out in third, the young man that I think following your top two did the best job of staying out here in the middle of the ring and showing me that he was the one driving the car, because that pig also had a little bit of speed to him. He did a good job on that. As we keep on working down the line, we get into some young people that were doing a good job, just maybe weren't as consistent as those top three. This young man gave me a good look early, but that pig started kind of challenging him a little bit later and not responding to him with the whip. So we just got to have a little more consistency from top to bottom. As we keep on working down the line, love the effort out of these young guys, but just had some pigs that weren't cooperating as well. The young man with the Duroc, I love the smile and the attitude. Just make sure you're watching your pig too. You got to make sure that pig stays in the right space. But I appreciate the attitude and the eye contact that he had. The young man that rounds out the class just had a pig going a little bit too fast and going the wrong direction. Let's put our hands together for those 8-year-olds. Sure appreciate having them all out here and a nice good group of young people coming up in older age groups.
Now entering the ring is class 16, first year 9 and 10-year-old juniors. Results for class 15, 8-year-olds. This award is sponsored by Pars Ridge Farm. First place, Addison Hartner. Second place, Hartley Prime. Third place, Tanner Collins. Fourth place, Luke Newfield. Fifth place, Jude Gunther. Sixth place, Mason Willie. Seventh place, Weston Martin. Eighth place, James Brown. In your program, 8, 3, 5, 1, 7, 4, 2, 6. Now in the ring is class 16, first year 9 and 10-year-old juniors. Following this, we will need our first place junior class winners for the selection of our junior champion showman.
here in our first year showmanship division. I think we got 4 young kids that are doing a good job out here. Definitely showing their stripes though as novices, that they got some things they can continue to work on. But I think as it comes down to it, I've talked a lot about control and being in the right place here in the ring today in showmanship, and I think there's one individual that shows me that they're working that extra harder to get in front of me and be at the right distance. I like to see those pigs about the distance that these young people are right in front of me right now. That 10 to 15 feet is a good distance for me to be able to evaluate the hog and show me that you're in control. I don't want to see that pig on the fence line or too far away. I think one young person's done a really consistent job in here. Maybe gets a little bit out of position himself sometimes, but he's working really hard, keeping that pig moving and showing me he's in control. This young man directly in front of me is going to be your class winner here in your first year 9 and 10-year-old division. He's going to be first. I'll keep talking my way through the others because I think there's some good in all 4 of these young people. The young man that's over on the fence line, you're going to be second, okay? I think you did a great job. You were just too far away from me, okay? Got to get that pig out in front of me a little bit more, about the distance that you're at right now. That's where I wanted to see you, okay? I stood over here on purpose because I wanted to see if you could get your pig over here, and you never really quite got it done. You gave me some good looks, and you kept your pig moving. You stayed in the right position, but you got to get closer, okay? Show me you're driving the buck, right? For third and fourth, I think it's a little bit closer. The young lady's going to be third. I think she just did a better job of keeping that pig off the fence line. Maybe needs to watch her own body positioning and not use your knees. Don't use your knees. That's why you have a whip. And the young man that's in fourth probably did a better job of positioning himself, but had a pig that wasn't cooperating quite as much. Just harder to get him off the fence line and be in control. That's the top 4 there in your first year showmanship division. Let's put our hands together for them one more time. Doing a really good job. Glad to have them out here as first year novice showmen.
Now entering the ring will be all of our first place junior class showmen for the selection of our junior champion. Results for class 16, first year 9 and 10-year-olds. This award has been sponsored by Gloria Thorne. First place, Grant Tomanek. Second place, Joseph Roche. Third place, Alana Neufeld. Fourth place, Bo Gunther. In your program, 4, 3, scratch, 1, 2. Now in the ring are our first place class winners for the selection of our junior champion. Following the selection of our reserve junior champion, we will have our overall grand champion showman. We'd like to take a moment before we finish up and introduce our judge for today. His name is Dr. Hyatt Frobos. How'd I do? Yeah? Okay. He comes to us from Greeley, Kansas, where he serves as a swine nutritionist for Gestall. He formerly coached the livestock judging team at Kansas State University and has also judged livestock shows in over 20 U.S. states and 3 countries. Let's give him a round of applause to thank him for coming and working with our 4-H'ers today.
here in our youngest age division. We've got 4 good class winners that come back out here to represent their individual heats, and we've certainly got some pigs that'll get tired, and it kind of shows the stamina and the work ethic that's been put in at home, the pigs that are holding up here the best. But I kind of challenge them as well, go down there in the kind of bottomless hole that's down there in the corner where they want to congregate and see who can make it out of there and show me that they can get back into the other side of the ring and show me they can get themselves in the right body position. I think the one that does the most consistent job of that is going to be the young man with the Duroc hog. He's going to be your champion junior showman today. I think doing a really good job keeping that pig's head up, keeping that pig moving. Maybe gets a little distant at times, maybe crosses over in front of me a few more times than I'd like, but I think really giving me the best look and the most consistent look and control of his hog. He'll be your champion today. Appreciate his hard work and give him a big round of applause as we bring in the 2nd place out of his class.
Run like the wind, Georgie, run. You too, Walter.
Well, I'm glad we brought in our 2nd out of that heat. Young man's doing a good job coming out here and fitting with the rest of the class winners really well. I think as we come out here to select for a reserve champion, I think it comes down to these 2 young ladies in the middle. A little bit different style, and I think both of them are doing a really good job. The young lady here directly in front of me, she does just an awesome job of keeping that pig in the middle of the ring and keeping it moving at all times. I'd maybe like you to work on your ring presence a little bit, your eye contact and your body positioning, keeping that pig looking the best it can at all times. But the positioning of your pig and the way you keep it moving, you do a really, really good job. And that you do better than anybody else in the class in that. The young lady with the black hog, I think she does a little bit better job in her ring poise and presence and knowing where I am and her eye contact. Her barrel maybe doesn't cooperate with her quite as well. She can give me some really good looks, and then sometimes he gets a little distant as well. I think those 2 are really the contenders for reserve champion in this youngest division. I'm going to go with the young lady, though, that stays in front of me the best, showing me that control. Good job. She's going to be your reserve champion junior showman out here today.
Congratulations to our junior champion showman, Troy Heath, and our reserve junior champion showman, Addison Hartner. We now need our intermediate and senior division winners to join our junior champion for the selection of our overall grand champion showman.
Well, I think it's always fun when we've got our three division winners back out here to see who can kind of rise to the challenge. But this ring's a little big for three, and so I asked them to show inside my smaller ring that I created quick. I think we've got a pretty standout individual in our senior showman that I don't think we need to go too much longer. Just doing a really good job from end to end on control and presence, knowing where he needs to be and where the pig needs to be at all times. Just one that's got a really responsive pig, and that comes from time and practice at home. Young man out of your senior division is going to be your champion here today. Really good job. Certainly don't want to take anything away from our intermediate or junior division winner. We just picked a single champion, three really good individuals and representing the county extremely well. Once again, appreciate the opportunity to sort through your showmanship division today, and I look forward to sorting through the rest of the hogs later on this afternoon.
Congratulations to our grand champion swine showman, Mr. Liam Hartner. Good job, crowd. I like it. Please bring your cheers back at 3 o'clock when we will have our 4-H breeding swine show. And then the 4-H market swine show will start at 4 o'clock. Enjoy your afternoon at the fair.